Hey guys, if anyone is watching right yet, I'm just setting up my camera. I'm not sure how this looks right yet or anything. Hold on, I don't even know if the microphone is. Yeah, okay, it looks like the microphone is on. I'm gonna be just a minute setting this up. Okay, where am I going? Okay, I can see the chat over here actually. Awesome. Just give me a minute. How do I go to the link? Where's the link on YouTube? Okay. I just want to see what it looks like on your guys' end. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Wait, I can show my stream. I can show my screen too, right? Crap! Did I want to do that? Okay, what am I doing? Sorry guys, just another minute here. Where are we? Okay, post it to the group. Okay, how do I figure out these settings? What is your view on Testosterone? I've not done really any research into it. Mic is too low. Okay, hold on, guys. Volume. What do I need? Do I need the gain? Okay, that's on the right setting. I'm not sure if I need the gain or the volume. Okay, I turned up the volume, but the gain is down. The volume is all the way up now. Let me know if it's too high or if I need to turn up the gain. Testing. Should fix that camera a little bit. Let me know how the mic is, guys. Where are we? Sound is great now. Okay, awesome. Sorry guys, I'm still just setting everything up here because I've never used this camera before. So I'm just figuring that out. Where am I going? It shouldn't take too long. I just wanted to go live so I could actually see it and what it looks like. Where is this? Okay, I want that on. Okay, that is on. Okay, where are we? I'm not sure. Where's the screen fully? I hate that this is all black. Okay, that can't even fit to screen, can it? Where is it fit to screen? Filters, create output, create protection. I don't know what that means. Okay, is that fitting the screen? Where's the YouTube link? Crap. Sure, my volume is off for you guys. Where are we? So guys, again, I'm just making sure this camera and everything is set up. I'd like to be able to see my the chat in here, but I can't see it in there. Don't know why. Oops. Okay, what am I doing? Still getting same audio issue from yesterday, not mouse clicking. I was going to say, well, I'm not on my phone, I'm on my camera. I am clicking my mouse a lot though. If anybody else is hearing it clicking, like Blake in the chat said, let me know if you're hearing it clicking. But again, I am clicking like here. Click, This is me clicking my mouse right now. So let me know if that's a noise. Almost have this set up, guys. Again, just for everybody that just joined now, I'm just setting up my stream with the new camera. So I may take a minute longer. Sorry, or another minute, I mean. Shit. Make sure that stays in. Stretch that to the thing. It's very strange. Why is it showing black lines there? Oops. Okay, is that, I should have lowered the camera a little bit. Okay, I think that's set up. Where are we? So okay, I'm gonna start answering some questions now, since I think this is a good enough setup. But as I answer the questions, I'm gonna mess around a little bit more. Just a heads up. Okay, so let me start. I'm just gonna kind of start randomly. Issues more often than yesterday. Hold on again. Let me turn my volume up for a second to see if I can hear it. So you're gonna hear it overlay. Issues more often than yesterday. Hold on again. Let me turn my volume up for a second to see if I can hear it. So you're gonna hear it overlay. Never mind. I can't hear it because my goddamn issues more often than yesterday. Yeah. Anybody else here? Let me just let me know, please. That'd be appreciated. Just so I know if I need to fix it if you hear any type of clicking. Okay, so questions. Okay, where are we? Oh, and let me know what you guys think of the camera right now. Do you like this camera better? There's a lot of settings I need to mess around on it. So let me know how it looks, and let me know how the audio is today. If the audio is better as well. Here, where was I? So, bro, is 1 gram per pound of protein enough for gaining on cycle? I am confused. Some people say it should be more than 1.5 gram per pound. Okay, so this is the same answer I give every time to this, which is nobody knows. So, okay, so nobody knows, and we should always aim higher rather than lower. The reason for this is, one, the only study we have that is testing steroids and dosage showed that the more dose you had, the more muscle you could build by eating more protein. So the only thing we can go by is a very vague study. And then the second thing we go by is that majority, I always like to use real world experience of successful people when I put my science in with it as well. Well, not my science. What was I saying? So yeah, it's like phrases when they say if you ask a millionaire how to make $1 million, don't ask somebody that is poor or whatever. Those little phrases like that. So on average, yes, some pro bodybuilders maybe eat less protein, but you'll find on average to get to that's usually when they're at the size where they are and they're not growing anymore. But to get to that size where they ate a lot. So I like to add in majority of people or pro bodybuilders who are big had to eat a lot of protein, as well as the fact that we don't know where, let's say you're on 1 gram versus 200 milligrams of testosterone or whatever. We don't know how much more protein you could utilize to build muscle. And then on top of that factor, the studies for protein intake for natural has varied for a very long time. The dosage is all over the place. An example is that, one study would show that 1 gram per kg was the maximum and no further increases. And then we had studies showing 2.2 or 2.4. And then we had a study showing something like 3 grams per kg showed the most muscle growth compared to lower doses. And there's so many variables here. And one of the things that I always talk about is that the studies, they don't equate for volume and volume, training intensity, or whatever. And the reason this matters a lot is, when you are exercising, you're breaking down muscle tissue. Who's to say that you exercising for 10 versus 20 sets, and then you are doing solar negatives, which is proven to cause more tearing, or just things to elicit more of an anabolic response? Who's to say all of these different factors is what is causing one study to show 1 gram per kg and 3 grams per kg? One that maybe they use more intensity or more volume or more frequency. So who is to say where this truly lies? What if we did a study where we did 20 sets and twice a week, and the intensity's there and slow negatives and so on and so on? Where the hell would that protein lie? Maybe we'd have a study showing that 5 grams per kg produces the best results in muscle growth. So if you're a steroid user, well, regardless or not, if you do high volume, you're a steroid user doing any typical bodybuilding approach, I like to go high. I just, from real world experience as well, the more the better, to a degree. So yeah, upwards of 2 grams per pound is my upper suggestion. Sometimes even a little bit more. But yeah, that is my suggestions for somebody going on like an all out hardcore bulk and is a steroid user. I got to get used to talking to the camera. I'm looking at something different. If you guys remember when I first started live streaming, looking at the original camera, it's hard. I'm like distracted and stuff like that. And with this camera, I'm getting a little bit distracted too when I'm talking. So give me a little bit of time to get used to it. Sorry, guys. Hey, join the stream on your phone and listen, maybe. Okay, sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second, because apparently there is a clicking. So did I read it? I don't hear clicking. So let me know if you hear a clicking, guys. I'm just going to join on my phone to see if there is a clicking, because obviously that'd be annoying. How do I? Where is it even? Let me go to my group here. What internet? Okay. Oh crap! I'm not. Oh, I should have changed my settings for my goddamn internet. Okay, where are we? It's not. I can't even get my goddamn phone to load. Why isn't my phone working? My internet didn't cut off, did it? I'm still connected to the slower internet. 3 people said hearing it, including me. So I'm on my mic. Can you hear? Yes, there is still clicking. Can you hear the mouse clicking? So that's the question. So starting right now, I'm not going to touch my mouse. So yeah, after this, tell me if you hear the clicking. So I can't load up on my phone right now. So I'm gonna not touch the mouse. So let me know if you hear it. Just a heads up, I found out many packaged foods on Chronometer does not have the micronutrient info. Sometimes you have to choose a food by other means like USDA. I know that myself. I'm not sure if you're saying that to me or other thing, or to people in the chat. Absolutely. What I do when I'm putting in a food, so even sometimes like a government type listing, they won't have it. So what I do is I input the food, and then I see, because certain foods they still don't have let's say tested and then listed on government listings of certain nutrients. So what I go by is I see how many nutrients are listed, and then off the top of my head, I know certain ones that aren't listed and whatnot. So yeah, every time you enter a single food, look for the one with the most nutrients listed, and then check what kind of listing it is. Yeah. Seems to be anytime mic picks up any noise. The clicking starts when you start talking, not the mouse. Okay, well, I'm on the... Okay, do I need the... Yeah, I need that in. And it was doing it yesterday on my phone, and it's doing yesterday now on my mic. My phone, when I'm recording on my phone, it's recording on its own. I'm not connected to a mic or anything like that. Today, I'm recording via my laptop, which is connected to my camera, and then I have an external microphone plugged in. So I don't think it's an internet issue, as video wouldn't be this smooth. I'm on the 2.4G internet right now as well, because my 5G isn't showing up. I wonder I'm wondering what it is, because when I'm streaming just on my phone and there's clicking, and then I'm streaming not on the phone at all, and I'm streaming on my laptop. Well, here's the thing: if it's a mic, if it's a mic issue, why did it happen on my phone? So that would mean my phone mic is impaired. Now that I'm not on my phone, I'm on a completely different microphone, and I'm on a laptop with my camera, and it's still going. So it seemed no. Yeah, yesterday I was streaming on my phone, no microphone, just the audio from the phone audio. Try a bigger buffer size in your sound card audio settings. CPU is having trouble processing the audio in real time. So I'll look at that now, if it's because I'm using Streamlabs, so I'm using a program. So I wonder if it's that. You know what? I wonder if it's Streamlabs, because I was using my phone yesterday via Streamlabs, and now I'm using Streamlabs via my laptop. So I wonder if the audio settings in Streamlabs is what is the issue. I'm not too sure. I'm going to audio settings and see what I can do. Sample rate requires a restart. Sample rate is at 44.1. Maybe it needs to be to 48. I don't know. Channel requires a restart for this one. Stereo versus mono. What am I on? I am on stereo. Desktop audio device. Desktop audio. Mic auxiliary device disabled. Okay, mic auxiliary device 1. So the Blue Yeti microphone. Advanced settings maybe. Audio monitoring device. I'm not sure. Recording file name. No, don't. Replay buff. No, that's just. Stream delay 20 seconds. I think maybe I need to go in some of these settings. So stream delay, audio would be the 40, 48 or 40. Audio channel stereo. I don't. Crap. Yeah. You still need Streamlab even with the stream sync. So no, I don't need Streamlabs now that I have my 4K watch hours and 1K subs. I can stream directly to YouTube, but I wanted to do Streamlabs so I can show my screen. But you'll have to restart. Yeah, so I change it, but I have to restart. So I changed it to 44. If you know anything about me needing to be on mono or stereo, let me know. Hopefully, maybe that's it. Which form of carnitine should we take orally? Acetyl carnitine, is there a certain form that is best? So they will each have different effects. My suggestion, I like to use 2 to 3 grams of the acetyl form and 2 to 3 grams of the tartrate form. Hi to you, our legend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Different mic I see. With nandrolone, mental sides. I know it interacts with dopamine, causing low motivation. Also read a study that the brain takes 4 times as long to get back to normal after Deca cycle. So, okay, the big thing, like you mentioned with dopamine and stuff like that, people are basing these studies off rat studies, and they're a bit ridiculous with the study showed an opposing effect when they went low dose versus high dose. So one, their studies on rats. 2, the dosage changed everything, and basically every single steroid showed the same effects. However, one of the main things, if we're talking about like neuron death and stuff like that, that is due to the increased CA2. The increased CA2 concentrations, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I suggest items on cycle like vitamin K2, getting adequate magnesium, vitamin E, and taurine as well also is very protective of that. So yeah, a reason I suggest a few of those items. And another thing with even the cytotoxicity of it, that study is so misconstrued it the way people are portraying it. What am I saying? So guys, again, I'm awkward talking on this new camera. It's just looking at a new setup, so it's like day one again. The cytotoxicity studies where they did where they compared nandrolone to testosterone and I think a few other compounds. What this showed was that at very minuscule doses was that nandrolone was more toxic, minuscule doses that we would never even use. However, when they raised the dose, when they raised the dosage to dosages we would actually use, and when they kept going higher, nandrolone was almost no different than testosterone and even cytotoxicity. So that is very people are construing it very incorrectly. That study even. Been running Tren, Test, and Primo plus Diva. Been on probably for too long. Sharp shooting pains in the middle of my back, either side of my spine, around about my navel. And in terms of vision, could this be an organ issue? Been running Tren, Test, Tren, Test, and plus Diva. I would, and you said you've been on too long. I'm not sure if you see my article on receptor downregulation, short versus long cycles. I would probably come out the drugs and just see if it's water weight, namely, or another way to see if it's you're like a sciatica like pain. Is to you can mega dose some sorry, I shouldn't be giving out advice. If it was me, I'd maybe mega dose some magnesium for a short term, 1 to 2 grams or something like magnesium bisglycinate. I would do that, and that will help shed some of the water as it inhibits aldosterone, and I would see if that pain goes away and I lose some water weight. That would be the first step I would do. Question about cardio for overall health and longevity. Do you recommend it? What kind of cardio? How much on average for young, middle-aged, older folks? The cardio I recommend for almost every single instance is a HIIT form of cardio, but not as intense. So the cardio, even when it's for fat loss or anything like that, this is my most favorite type of cardio. I prefer somebody to go into a high intensity state for 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on your endurance levels. But it's not an all out run to where you're completely out of breath and killing yourself. It is, think of it as a high intensity jog, basically. And then you have your rest of 45 to 60 seconds or so of a light jog, basically. That way you're not, causing too much, you're not less risk of burning muscle, you're not overworking your nervous system, and you're still getting the benefits of keeping your intensity and whatnot a bit high. Where are we? I'm working my way back up here, guys. Where are we? I'm a fair bit up here. Where the hell am I? I don't think it's internet issue. No, I already read that one. Yeah, I missed all these questions, I think. How much Clomid / N-clomiphene would you recommend for a 4-week cycle of anadrol at 75 milligrams a day? To avoid suppression, you claimed afterwards. So the study used a fair bit higher doses, but what I've used in clients and followers, I've used a lot lower dosage. Let's say you want to front load and get it in your system at a peak dose. You'd start the first week at, or even half the week at 50, or it depends on how you want to approach. So one, you could, the first week, 100 milligrams for 3 days. Then the next 3 days of the rest of the week, 50 milligrams. And then you start on a dose of 25 milligrams a day for the duration of the cycle. That's not the dose that the study used, but that is the dose that I've used in people to prevent shutdown. Progesterone cream at bedtime on your scalp. What are your thoughts? So it depends. If you're on hormones, then sure, it has some benefits. Or depending on the cycle you're running, our progesterone will be low. Don't do the insane crazy dosages like some people suggest today. It's not healthy having any of your hormones jacked up. Progesterone is a anti-androgen at the receptor, so it'll hurt your gains. When it's cream and when it's on your scalp, the absorption isn't as much, and it's going to help things like hair growth, because I'm assuming you're talking about it for hair growth. So if you're natural and applying small amounts just to specific balding areas, then it's pretty safe. Where are we? Okay, answer the protein question. Can Deca stack with Tren in your opinion? Absolutely. A large majority of my guys do it. I don't like it myself. Insane risk of hair loss if you are hair loss prone. But it is a great stack when test is out of the mix, or very, very low dose test. Most people report that you're not going to see any of the side effects that you typically see with Tren. Where are we? It's finna. Is supplementing B complex a good idea when I hit 100% of the standard RDA of chronometer? So go to my YouTube channel, click on multivitamins and cancer risk, and I did an article on it on Taeian.com under my articles if you want to read instead. And I wrote, especially on B vitamins, synthetic vitamins do not behave the same as natural vitamins. So with the synthetic vitamins, especially the B vitamins, multiple are linked to a very strong link to increased cancer risk. You're, especially a high dose of, like, you have like 100 milligrams of all of them, you're throwing off many other B vitamins. We don't, one B vitamin is in doses of, let's say, 20 milligrams a day, and one would be in MCG doses. So you're throwing other B vitamins off and going to deplete other ones. Huge cancer risk with the synthetic vitamins. Absolutely not. I tell people to eat food for the vitamins they want, because if you're low in a couple specific vitamins and you try and replace them, that means you're likely low in other ones. Like if you're low in any of them, your diet is off, and you need to likely increase all your vitamins, nutrients. Should you avoid vegetables in your pre-workout meal? No, absolutely not. I'm assuming you're asking for a worry of it slowing down your digestion. So average gastric emptying rate is about 1.5 hours on average. Your pre-workout meal is basically your post-workout meal and your intra-workout meal. I like people to usually get their pre-workout meal in around 2-ish hours before their workout, or to 1.5 hours. That's when it'll start kicking in. And you eating a mixed meal anyway, that is your normal gastric emptying rate for a mixed meal anyways. So no, eat a normal balanced meal. The vegetables are going to add immense amounts of potassium, which are going to help you utilize your carbs, going to help with the pump, especially if they're vegetables high in histamine like tomato, which is going to jack up your pump through the roof again, or high in nitrates. So you're going to be missing out on a lot of benefits if you just eat something like white rice and chicken. Thought I'd catch you live on stream with the question on whether I can use roids, HGH or secretologs, and anything else I should know while treating prolactomia with bromocriptine. So what was that? Whether I can use roids, HGH or secretologs. So HGH you'd probably want to be weary of. And as for items that, well, again, you're going to use a anti-prolactin drug, but an item like Deca, which won't raise your prolactin, as the only human studies we have on it actually shown to help inhibit prolactin release. So, as you know, my preference for Deca-based cycles. Hold on, sorry. Deca would be my main choice for that, anyways. Hold on, guys. Let me fix something on the screen. 1 second. I think I need to move my focus a bit because I feel it's looking a little blurry, but I'm not sure if it's blurry. I didn't change my internet settings on my Streamlabs on this one. I think I need to increase a bit right there too. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's a little too dark. I don't know. Where are we? If you couldn't get good quality sleep due to temporary issues like school, baby, or work, what would you do? Well, there's not much you can do. What was I gonna say? So, you know, good quality sleep. There's nothing that's going to particularly replace adequate or good quality sleep. Um, Eating a very rich nutrient dense diet. I mean, could you you could supplement some things, but then you're at the risk of throwing off some other nutrients. Like vitamin C is a very important vitamin for sleep and dealing with stress hormones that are related to or that are raised after a night of poor quality sleep. Vitamin C is proven to help you deal with stress better. So a neat study with vitamin C where they made people do speaking, and when they did public speaking, they tested their stress hormones, and they noticed that people that they gave vitamin C to, they had about it was about 50% less that their stress hormones actually rise to during a stressful event. So you know, obviously the best thing that you can do is fix your sleep ASAP, but you know, if it was me, I'd really try and look for a way where I can get that sleep in. Um, but ensuring a very rich nutrient quality diet would be your utmost importance. Um, Sorry guys. What was I saying? And then, you know, you could supplement with some I hate saying supplement because I'm so against saying use supplements, but vitamin E and vitamin C are very big important ones for sleep. And then calcium as well. Calcium is hugely involved in things like chronic fatigue, and it's hugely involved in getting a deep, proper sleep. They show people with fatigue that are less calcium in the cells. So it would be a few items to kind of focus on via your diet. Where am I? How much Clomid for fertility? For where am I? How much? Crap, I lost it. How much Clomid for fertility for a guy who had been on for 10 years now off trying to get a kid? So it depends on how hard you want to go with your cycle. On my site, I wrote a PCT article where I explained a low, medium, and hardcore approach to PCT. There are studies that men who were on for something like 10 years or a decade or so like that, where they showed that their hormone levels were not much far off from men who had never used steroids. I don't believe that 99 times out of 100 that even if you're on for 10 years that you won't recover. I believe that absolutely almost everybody will recover. Myself as well, I started using it at like 16, and you know, I'd stay on and just on and off and almost never PCT, and you know, almost always shut down. And even now I've fully recovered a few months ago when I was, you know, completely shut down and didn't do a PCT for like 2 years. So I believe that everybody can recover. So if you were to take a hard approach, if it were me and I wanted to do a very hard approach, I would start off 3 days Clomid at 100 milligrams, then finish out the next 2 weeks at 50 milligrams with Nova Dex at 40 milligrams, then 4 weeks of 25 milligrams Clomid and 20 to 10 milligrams Nova Dex. And I would use Armididex, about 0.5 milligrams 3 times a week, depending on how much you need. As I said many times before, Armididex does not crush your estrogen when you're producing estrogen naturally in your testicles. AIs cannot reach it there. This is why studies on AI show in natural men that even when you're mega dosing Armididex at like 22 milligrams, it causes no more further suppression basically than using it at 2 milligrams. So yeah, and it also helps you recover. It also helps boost your LH, as Clomid and Novadex are raising your LH, and it'll help prevent a rebound when you come off. So that is my hardcore approach if one wanted to take it. And also with it, I wrote an article on this as well about how I've had multiple people who just weren't recovering. They did multiple PCTs and they were not recovering, where I insanely jacked up their fats basically, and they finally recovered. So diet is so important. Get a lot of fats. Like I'm talking upwards like 200 milligrams a day. Do you think it's a good idea to do Testy 500 milligrams on my first cycle to see how I react to it, or is Diva NPP the way to go from there? Since I'm worried about gyno progression and temple recession. Okay, so that's kind of like the so that is kind of like the big bro science of the day out there, where it is run 500 milligrams testosterone to see how you to see how you react to the cycle. And that is ridiculous. That is a new age thing. Back 60s, 70s, it was when testosterone was, I was like, no, don't run testosterone. Testosterone was considered the harsh drug that's full of side effects, and when other things weren't working and you really wanted to pile on the water weight but accept the severe side effects, then people would run testosterone. Now it's a reverse. It's like, oh, test is your natural hormone, you're going to get less sides, which is absolutely bullshit. Studies showed 24 to 75% of men on TRT get nipple issues. So yeah, test is going to be the worst for your hair loss. It's going to be the worst for gyno. It's going to be worse for acne. Just go Google any bit on forums and stuff like that, like testosterone and gyno, testosterone and hair loss. Google all these sites and you'll see just forums and Facebook groups full of posts like this. One of my biggest regrets actually was running testosterone, period. And that you ask anybody in my group, my thousands of followers over like 10 years now, everybody say the same things. They wish they never used test. It, gave them hair loss, it gave them gyno, and they had to have gyno surgery and scars. Now they have insane, you should see some of the people in my group with insane acne scars from running testosterone, just insane. So what is the point of running testosterone to see how you react? You're running it to see how you react in the sense of, let's see, I'm going to run the drugs that literally gives you the most sides across the board, in the terms of it gives you like every single side, cosmetic sides, at a moderate to high degree. So it's like, you want hair loss, it's going to give it if you're prone. You want gyno, it's going to freaking give it. So to see how you react, this is going to see that, you're running the worst drug to get side effects. You're going to see how you react to some of the worst side effects. So to me, that's silly. You're running steroids because you want to look better cosmetically. So why wouldn't you run the items that are going to make you look cosmetically without destroying your hairline for life or giving you gyno or stuff like that? And this was the 60s and 70s pros ways of doing it. And this is my thousands of followers for, almost a decade now. That's what they're choosing to do. Every single person says they wish they discovered Deca only sooner, when I brought it back to fame. But yeah, if you want to get a whole bunch, if you want to risk a very high percentage of a risk of getting these side effects, and go ahead and run tests. But if you want to play it safe, I'm not giving you advice, but my biggest advice to myself, if I was going to do it, I would have never touched testosterone for a single second. How can you increase libido and estrogen in women? So as I was explaining about the PCT, so if she's a natural, I don't know if she's natural steroids, and depending on the situation, one, I would maybe try it first with just getting adequate nutrients. I go to Chronometer, follow my camel diet, Taeian.com, my Facebook group, where I tell people to focus on all nutrients, like low potassium, which most of people only get 1.5 grams of potassium on average, proven in studies. And RDA is 4,700 in some countries. Low potassium linked to stuff like low testosterone, low hormone production. So ensure she's getting every single RDA nutrient, because so many of them are involved in producing your hormones. Once every single nutrient is met, also put her on a very high fat diet, especially animal fats. After these things are done, then give it a couple weeks. It won't take long. Like literally, when I apply these methods, it takes like 2 weeks. And then, maybe I would consider like a PCT for the female as well, like a Clomid cycle. Do you recommend triptorelin? No, mainly for the reason I feel like, especially when newer peptides comes out, that they're fake a lot of the times, and I've never really seen anybody in my personal experience actually recover from it, and I think that's due to quality control with a lot of stuff like this. Do you think topical emu oil alone for hair loss is safe for pregnant women? Yeah, I would say absolutely. It'd be the same as eating emu and getting its fats. Resveratrol useful for overall health and longevity. Conflicting data in the studies. Absolutely, it has many health benefits, except for people claiming that it was this amazing what's the word? This amazing groundbreaking longevity, expand your lifespan by, I don't know, 50% or something, whatever ridiculous statement it was. But does high creatinine means kidneys damage for bodybuilders? How would we find out if we are damaged kidney? Absolutely no. Yeah, absolutely not. Kidney damage is you need multiple tests. You need multiple tests to come to a conclusion. Get your general kidney workup. You know, your EGFR. Get the whole kidney workup, and then you can kind of come to a conclusion. You have to make sure, one, that you are well hydrated before you do it. Two, stop working out for like at least a week before you go and get the test. And you know, it depends on what you're worried from is caused by, from steroids and stuff like that. Like that is a long shot. I mean, yes, it absolutely can happen, but that's more so guys who are abusing the hell out of really, really harsh androgens. Where are we? I think I answered that one. Test is trash. Okay, answer that. I small glands developed naturally under my nipples. A lot of people also report when they're running Deca-based cycles that they notice that their nipples actually shrink a little bit as well. So that is another benefit. Sorry guys. Oh, I want to finish setting this up. Let's see how kind of blinded me for a second there. I answered that one. I'm just gonna mess around with the camera for a second, guys, just so I have it set up for next live stream. How's that look? A little bit harsh shadows. I'm not sure what light it's coming from. One of the lights is causing it. See how that looks. Sorry guys, 1 second. Where are we going? Where is this? Was there a supplement recommended that helps aspirin, but without the bad side effects? Oops, where'd it go? Okay, so absolutely yes. I don't like aspirin myself, especially people who are prone to silicate sensitivity, which can have obviously, you know, some digestive issues might not be a big worry, but the main benefit we're getting from aspirin, we can duplicate it with vitamin E, which is a thinning of the blood and clotting risk factors, which is an increased risk on steroids. So vitamin E is one of those staples in I can't remember if I did a video on it, either on Taeian.com. I have my heart health article and how to prevent and reverse heart disease, and I can't remember if I think I did a video. I can't remember if I released the video or not, so it might be up on my YouTube as well. But I explained all the things you need for proper heart health. With steroids increasing your clotting factor risk, vitamin E is super important, along with K2, magnesium, and vitamin A. But vitamin E is the main important one here that will have the similar effects to aspirin. And it's low in most people's diets, and then it gets worse in most people's diets when they're eating a fast food diet with high in polyunsaturated fatty acids, which deplete vitamin E. So on vitamin E, as I always say, try and get it through diet. Items like seeds are very rich in vitamin E, and they have magnesium as well. What was I saying? But yeah, always try and get it via diet first. And if you do use a supplement form, I like a form that has all 8 forms of vitamin E in them. Okay, guys, I'm gonna mess with the camera 1 more second, just so when I stream later, it'll be like all set up for me, basically. Did I answer those questions? Yeah. See how that looks. I hate how it's delayed because I'm waiting here, sitting, looking, waiting for it to change. What are you guys saying? Do you like that better? Like added color to it? Or is it too blue and too dark? I don't like how that the mic is shadowing on me. see, what am I doing? What do I have Facebook up? Live streaming. Hi T, what about our arthritis? Rheumatoid arthritis in increased potassium intake, question mark. Absolutely yes. I think you probably read my post about that. So what is really going to help calm it, and as the studies show, increasing potassium really helped it, as potassium helps increase cortisol, and cortisol is your natural to blue is your natural it is your natural item that helps oh no, sorry, reading other questions. I applied a lot there, Blake. So what was I saying? Potassium is needed to increase cortisol, and cortisol is used to help inflammation. So with autoimmune diseases, you're in my, and obviously I know you're in my group. I recognize your name. Follow the camel diet, as I've reversed so many autoimmune diseases. Like so many Crohn's cases now and stuff like this. Follow the camel diet, my diet in the group. That is what's needed. You need to completely rid wheat and dairy from the diet, and possibly only eat lightly cooked temperature meats for protein sources. Possibly some people don't need to follow this, but some people do. Yeah, avoiding those main things, but the potassium severely helps the side effects in the feeling of it. What do you think of Topical for gallbladder pain? Absolutely, yeah. It would depend on why you're getting the gallbladder pain. Is there an issue with your bile, that your bile isn't flowing properly? Some of the nutrients are off for your body, the way it's making bile. Yuck to different LUT. Is this the M31? Yeah, it is the M31. Well, I like it. Did you turn it off? No, it's off. White balance is 4,500. I think I wanted to change that. Hold on, let me mess with the ISO for a second. ISO's at 320. ISO's now at 200. Don't want it too dark, but at the same time, I guess improve the image quality. I don't know, maybe it looked better when it was lighter. Thoughts on wheat bran? It has a lot of magnesium, phosphorus, iron, others. I don't like wheat bran. We don't necessarily, most bodybuilders or people who follow a bodybuilding like diet, we don't want excess iron. We already get a lot from the meat and stuff we eat. Iron is going to increase our red blood, or blood. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm getting tired again. It's 7:30 a.m. for me. What was I saying? Yeah, we don't want more iron. Usually with the diet we already have too much iron, and we're usually lacking nutrients that help utilize iron, so we don't have iron overload like we usually lack copper highly. On top of it, what was I saying? On top of it, with steroids increasing our red blood count further, it's just jacking up for a much higher risk for heart-related effects. What vitamins and minerals are more essential for older people trying to build muscle? My father is 52 years old and he has high blood pressure. What about macros? Maybe any specific foods he needs to eat. Go to my website, Taeian.com, or my Facebook. So my Facebook group, I have, you can read the basis of the camel diet there, and on my forum I have a huge breakdown of like how to properly plan your meals. And then even under my articles, my free articles, I really suggest you read that, because the whole thing I'm known for, what people call the camel diet, my diet, is a very high nutrient density diet. I'm trying to think of a way where I can summarize this. So the whole point of it is, go to download chronometer.com, and the whole point of it is to ensure you get every single nutrient possible for health and building a muscular physique. So like when you say any specific foods, I say this a million times over: variety, variety, variety. If you just pick a few specific foods, you're never going to hit that variety. Because let's say chicken is high in B1, but pork is high in B2, and it's low in B1, then you're never going to reach that goal if you're just eating chicken. So variety, 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 and you're going to sure you're getting all nutrients. So example, meats, get. Okay, that sucks. I don't know how that happened. Okay, don't know where I was. Where the hell was I? Crap, I don't know how that happened. Okay, let me start over again. Okay. I don't know which question I missed or what. Okay, so ugh. What vitamins and minerals are more essential for older people trying to build muscle? My father is 52 years old and he has high blood pressure. What about macros? Maybe specific foods to eat. Cry. Okay. Okay. So what I'm known for is camel diet. People call it. The diet I made up where it's focusing on nutrients. Go to Tren.com. I have like read all my articles where I go in depth on why nutrients are important, and on my forum I have how to make a meal plan and why specific combos and stuff are important. Um, and then even in my group and stuff like that, I have a breakdown of the camel diet and stuff like that. So how do I break this down again? Okay, so chronometer.com, you need to use this site. When you go on chronometer.com, this is to ensure you're getting every single micronutrient possible, and the importance of every single micronutrient. So sorry guys, one second. Okay, so yeah, so the camel diet, my diet is focusing on getting all your nutrients and the importance of nutrients for health, not just macros. And food choices is very important. So the easiest way to sum this up is variety, 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 and more variety. Let's say chicken is high in B1, but it's low in B2. Pork might be high in B2, but it's low in B1. So if you're eating chicken, broccoli, and rice, you're going to be missing a whole bunch of nutrients. So it's not just food volume to get your nutrients, it's avoiding the processed foods. Like, white rice has like no nutrients. Meanwhile, potatoes, 100 times the nutrients of some of the nutrients. So variety is key in no processed foods, and that way you ensure you're getting all your nutrients. Um, so like I just explained to meat, same with the vegetables. One vegetable might be high in potassium, but low and I don't know, selenium or something like that, even though meat's better for selenium. That's just an example. The only way you're going to fill all those nutrients in adequately and more balanced is if you eat variety. So eat every single meat, eat every single vegetable, switch it up. That is so important. That is the easiest way to get your nutrients in for proper health and muscle growth. Um, so where else was I going with this? So, and no processed foods. You're just lacking the nutrients, and nutrients are so important. Micronutrients are so important for muscle growth, as I explained a million times over. Low potassium leads to poor digestion, poor low testosterone, low HGH, low IGF-1, low glycogen. Your glycogen won't restore properly. So yeah, nutrients, micronutrients through the roof, and you get that via variety of your foods and no processed foods. Eat every vegetable, eat every meat. Don't just eat chicken, broccoli, rice. And then as for macros, so macros matter, but they don't matter in the sense, as I always quote studies on, like the protein study where they overfed people 900 calories a day of excess protein versus a control group. They saw more fat loss and more muscle growth, just slightly the muscle growth. And this goes to prove to us it throws the calories in versus calories out equation, and it only matters for our energy intake nutrients and more specifically fat. So, where was I going with this? And then same, I always quote on the PUFA studies when they overfed participants 700 calories a day of polyunsaturated fatty acids versus saturated fats. The polyunsaturated group gained almost entirely muscle versus saturated fat group gained almost entirely fat. So your macros don't matter as a whole. What matters is, one, your food choices. The right food choices is what will make you gain the most amount of muscle versus fat. If you're overeating in the wrong foods, you could gain 75% fat and 25% muscle, versus eating the right foods, you're going to gain 90% muscle and 10% fat. Random example. So yeah, variety, eat everything, everything non-processed, and then jack up your protein. It's only, the more the better for body composition. Jack up your carbs, same thing, from non-processed carbs, and eat the healthy fats that are proven to go to muscle growth. That is, I think that was pretty good in depth summary. How are vegetable oils, canola, soybean, etc.? Absolutely, all oils are horrible. It's a processed food. Processed food is when you take something like a soybean and you take one component out of it and you eat it. Why this matter? As example, polyunsaturated fatty acids, as we know, where am I going with this? As we know, polyunsaturated fatty acids, every single grain you eat requires a very specific milligram amount of vitamin E to process it. And if you don't have it, it'll actually deplete it from your body to process it. And when you strip, normally this food would come with vitamin E and all these other nutrients to help process it. So when we process the oil, we're stripping it of its nutrients, sometimes all of them, sometimes 50%, sometimes, whatever. So you're eating a processed food that doesn't have the nutrients needed to utilize it, creating a vitamin deficiency and creating a whole host of health issues, and then also these nutrients are important. Vitamin E is very important for muscle growth, as example. So you are doing yourself a huge disservice with body composition, and health effects by eating any type of vegetable oil or processed food. So absolutely no, eat the whole soybean. Don't eat the oil. What is your opinion of using insulin over oral DHT derivatives as a normal steroid user? Because Vigorously speaks for this. Well, one, I like insulin, especially for bulking. Go to Taeian.com. In the articles, I have my insulin article, and I think I did a video on it on YouTube as well. Everybody who ever go to Tren.com, my testimonials, you'll see guys like Jordan Peters. He raved about it, the best insulin information he's ever read and stuff like that. Give it a read. I feel like I'm the only one that's really brought forth how to use insulin properly and the importance of the different insulins and stuff like this. Like Levemir example was shown to cause appetite loss and hence weight loss, where Lantus was shown to cause appetite increase and hence weight gain. So the insulins are all very very drastically in effects. Certain insulins bind to your insulin receptor more strongly than even your natural insulin, and some bind weaker than your natural insulin. Some will help improve your insulin sensitivity more than others, where what else? I forget what I was saying. So yeah, all insulin are very different. Read my insulin article. Insulin has so many benefits. So many benefits in relation to bodybuilding. What are the best healthy non-processed carbs you eat? So with my diet, basically, I like any carbs that are not processed. So, no white rice, no white bread and stuff like that. And I don't like wheat at all due to the wheat proteins being, one of the very few items that don't say necessarily cause autoimmune disease, but will flare and keep that person flared. So absolutely no wheat. And basically everything is up for grabs. Potato, squashes, buckwheat, quinoa. Those are probably my top ones that I suggest. So tired, guys. I gotta change my sleeping schedule here. What nutrients, nootropics do you recommend for learning a skill and memory? So one of the biggest things, bar none, that I think is more important than anything else is fat intake. Fats, and more fats. Eating a proper ratio of omega-6 to 3, which many people overdo on the 3, when omega-6 is very important. Your fat, and then some for more fats. And as for nutrients, so I hate when somebody asks me, what specific nutrient is good for this, just for the fact that if you're needing to boost one nutrient, likely a whole bunch of other ones of them are low. And then also for the fact, like, if you literally look into the process of almost every single vitamin and nutrient, you will find out that literally every single nutrient almost does every single thing in your body. So they are related to every single process in your body almost. Like zinc is related to hormone production, while zinc is also related to digestion, stomach acid creation. It's related to collagen production. So every single nutrient basically will have a process for whether it's your brain or learning or things like that, whether it's via a hormone route, but it'll also affect not just via a hormone route, but it'll affect every other process, kind of, whether it's creating those hormones or receptor sensitivity. So a really balanced, proper diet is so important, but most people eat way too low fats nowadays anyways, and that I find is a really big issue. So guys, let me fix this. Bother me. Okay. Whew, where are we? How would you rank? How would you rank Testy ball NPP based on? What did I miss? Where did that go? How would you rank Testy ball and NPP based on how anabolic they are, like actual muscle tissue, not water fluff? Thanks for saving me from doing that test cycle and getting messed up hard. So how do you rank Testy ball and NPP? So studies will rank these steroids as like D-ball 3 times more anabolic than test, or random measures like that. These measures don't translate to real world results in humans. Example, some steroids milligram per milligram, and when you use them milligram per milligram, you don't gain 3 times as much muscle. This is what I always tell people: take any freaking steroid you want, and at the end of the year, if your diet and training is all the same and you did it all right and you use like equal doses and stuff like that, let's say you used a gram of test versus a gram of Deca, you are not going to see any difference in your physique. Like let's just say, even though Deca is shown to be more anabolic, let's say you'd gain like 1 extra pound at the end of the year or something ridiculous like that. It does not matter. Everybody who's used anabolics for long enough has tried every single drug and every single dosage, every single cycle, and nobody looks any different afterwards from if they just did the cycle prior, this drug or whatever. So yeah, what you're asking, it truly does not matter. Believe me on this. Go ahead and mega dose the hell out of any cycle or something like that. I've done it. So many guys have done it, and like it does not matter. You running 3,000 milligrams of test versus 500 milligrams of test. I promise you, at the end of the year, you'd probably gain better off the low doses because your appetite would be better. And that's why my cycles, when I was going at it at the end, I was only running 400 milligrams Deca because I could eat the best and function the best on it. Food is number one, most important. You eventually probably get into mega dosing and try it and realize, hey, I look no different. And if anything, it just inhibited you from growing further. So yeah, they're all about the same. The test, this is the thing with tests, what I hate the most, and I noticed everybody goes through this issue. So test causes probably the worst water weight, okay? And with this, you will shoot up like 10 pounds right away. And it lies to you. And let's say after 6 weeks, you're up 20 pounds. You're like, wow, I've been eating enough to grow this whole time because I gained 20 pounds. But then you come off cycle and lose like 10 plus pounds of it. And it lied to you. And you're like, crap, like I was not eating enough to gain to what I thought it was. Meanwhile, when you run Deca, you'll gain a lot slower. And you'll be like, crap, my gains are really slow. I realize now what is actual muscle tissue and what's actually water weight. And then when you go through this experience, you realize, okay, I need to eat more. And then when you actually do eat more and you actually gain a solid 10, 20 pounds from the Deca use, you're like, wow, I realized how much I needed to eat to gain 20 pounds. And when you gain that 20 pounds, when you come off cycle, you're like, okay, this weight isn't going anywhere because it's actual muscle tissue. And this is a big thing when guys say they're scared to come off because they're just going to lose it all. They can't keep their weight. It's like, no, all you're losing is water weight. If you were to come off a cycle and lose 10 pounds instantly, which, the test users do, your kidneys would fail if you lost that much muscle tissue at once. Um, so what was I saying? So yeah, guys aren't losing muscle fast. You don't lose muscle fast. That's impossible. Yeah, it tests lies to you and can actually ruin your gains that way. So yeah, whereas I eat at average 200% of the recommended vitamins and minerals on Chronometer. What do you think about that? Is it bad or good? Sorry. So balance with everything. If you were to eat to 500% of vitamin A, but not getting that in vitamin D, you could create an imbalance there, as so many nutrients, like, they can work with each other or against each other. Or at low doses, they work with each other. At balanced doses, but at high doses, when often they work against each other. Like vitamin D will deplete vitamin A, and vitamin A will deplete vitamin D. So ensure your nutrients are balanced. And here's the thing: like I was explaining with polyunsaturated fatty acids, every single gram you eat requires a specific milligrams of vitamin E for it to utilize. And same with carbs requiring every other nutrient too. The B vitamins. Eat too much processed carbs, you would create a B1 deficiency. Like it's seen with white rice, beriberi disease. So if you are eating a higher protein, carb, and fat intake and higher calories, you are going to need higher micronutrient intake. Just ensure it's balanced, and you get the balance with variety in your diet. By the way, the sound is crackling a little bit for anyone else. So guys, give me 1 second. I'll be back. So let me go to the washroom. I'm not sure about the sound. Definitely need to figure this out. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Sorry. All right, guys. Where are we? I think I answered the last one. I don't remember. No, it's too dark again. I think I'm getting sick. What's your go-to immune system support protocol? So number one, the main thing I tell everybody to do, if you're in my group, you'll see everybody swears by this. It is the best thing ever. So yeah, this is the best thing ever. Everybody swears by it. It may sound quacky, but like everybody, just hundreds of people, they'll tell you they swear by this. First signs that you're getting sick, like your scratchy throat and stuff like that, don't do this. Not giving you any advice. This is what I do. Hydrogen peroxide from the pharmacy, the normal 3%. Take the cap, fill it with half water and then half peroxide, and tilt your ear and dump it in your ear and listen for a fizzle, and keep it in there and wait for it to be done fizzling fully, and then turn your head to the other side and do the other ear as well. Literally, you can ask just hundreds and hundreds of people in my group, they'll all say the same thing. This 99% of the time, it kills the virus instantly in the first freaking day. You know, so many people, they'll swear in my group, they'll tell you that, you know, they have not been sick in literally years from doing this trick. And same with myself, but sometimes one does get through, or if it's like a bacterial issue, you know, strep throat or tonsillitis based strep. But yeah, do this trick. You know, if you catch it within the first day, it is gone the first day. Literally, like instantly you feel better, and hours later, gone. You have no more symptoms. The nose, just anything like that, all symptoms are gone. Best absolute trick ever. If you catch it too late, like in the middle of the cold, it won't work. There was actually a study where they showed that the viruses can only actually enter through the ear canal, and this is suggested of why it works. But if it's past the first day, your next best step that I suggest to people is baking soda, which it used to be on the box many years ago to use it for colds and flu. So baking soda and lysine. Lysine is because viruses, so arginine and lysine kind of oppose each other. One increases virus replication and the other stops virus replication. And this is why people with herpes will use lysine to stop outbreaks. You know, herpes is a virus, just like a cold is a virus. So megadosing lysine and baking soda to control your blood pH is what is the second best thing once the virus is past a few days. If you caught it too late, is my second best tip to halt the virus very quickly. Can you give your opinion on trestolone ment and its use as a standalone compound blast and cruise? So many people actually haven't used ment. They've actually used testosterone because they complain of severe gyno issues. Ment in a study actually compared to test was shown to cause an estrogen deficiency. And out of all my followers, including myself, where I use 100 milligrams test, and you know, all my followers who are very gyno prone would get gyno off 100 milligrams test, but we use mega doses of ment and got no gyno. So just as the study shows, it actually creates a lot less estrogen than test. So a lot of people that get gyno and all this crap from ment, they probably didn't use real ment. So that's just so that is one issue of it. The estrogen is actually a lot lower. On top of it, there was actually a study that showed 75% of men actually had sexual dysfunction on it. In my take out of, I tell this to everybody, I warn them of it, that I have a lot of experience with people using ment and then getting a severe sexual dysfunction for like several months afterwards that nothing fixes. TRT, high dose androgens, PCT, and so on. And so many people I told, look, this is a high possibility that this could happen via my experience. They go and use ment anyways, and then, you know, a few weeks later, they have a complete loss of their libido. So, you know, it's a great compound, insane strength and size and fullness. It's an amazing compound, but I simply just like to warn people of those risks, and I wouldn't take it myself ever again. Tips to fix histamine issues other than avoiding high histamine foods. So what I always find a histamine issue is the first two things I like to look at, and this is very common with people, is low copper, which is needed for the breakdown and controlling histamine, and low vitamin C intake. Those are the first two things I suggest people to do to look at fixing histamine intolerance. Where are we? What would you say the maintenance calories would be for an average genetic man at 25 years old, 174 centimeters height? 1 second. Let me fix my ISO again. Okay, so that is too tricky to answer, and I don't go by calories as I've said a few times. Making sure the mic was on again. So I don't go by calories. Go to tn.com, read all my my diet articles. So I don't go by calories. As I explained earlier, there are studies on where they overfed people 900 calories extra protein a day, and they actually saw more fat loss and more muscle growth than the group that was eating less calories. I always talk about a million times over the polyunsaturated fat study where men overate 700 calories and they grew almost entirely muscle from those calories a day. And the group who ate 700 calories extra saturated fat gained almost entirely fat. So I do not go by calories as a whole or nowhere near. I I overfeed people, whether it's bulking or cutting most times, and they lean up and they gain way more muscle and very little fat or recomp. So I wouldn't go by calories. I would go by a general calorie somewhere guideline rule, but mostly focus on eating a lot of protein, no matter what you're doing, a good bit of carbs, but from non-processed carbs, and a diet high in polyunsaturated fatty acids. And you should lean up and get bigger. Best way to cut weight and not feel like starving. That kind of relates to the answer I just said, as I went on a million times over, how your food choices will determine if you're going to gain fat or gain muscle. In studies on like monofats versus specific saturated fatty acids like coconut oil, they put people on a deficit. In the soybean oil group, actually, and I think olive oil, they actually lost more muscle, and one of the groups actually gained fat in the deficit and lost entirely muscle, whereas the coconut oil group lost entirely fat almost. So your food choices matter. Don't eat crappy foods. Best way. So yeah, your food choices matter. So you can eat as much as you want of the healthy foods, in a sense, not necessarily. But, as I mentioned, the protein study, the more protein, they actually lost more fat. So eat a mega dose of lean protein, eat a lot of non-processed carbs, and control your fats and focus on polyunsaturated fatty acids. What would you say the maintenance calories would be for an average for an average at his best physique? Okay, yeah, that is in the same. It applies to, that's very difficult to answer because I don't know their weight and stuff like that. But I always overshoot in calories, even for like a maintenance thing, of the right foods, the nutrient dense foods. Telling them don't be afraid of eating a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, non-processed carbs, and a lot of saturated polyunsaturated fatty acids. What is a safe protocol to lose 10 to 15 pounds of water weight? Is it possible to be fully recovered 24 hours later, or 24 hours later of regaining the water? I think that's what you mean. When you say safe protocol to lose that much water, so this is a very big thing. You don't think most people realize. A lot of people can carry upwards 15 pounds of feces in their gut. So what I tell people first is ensuring you're on a proper diet you're adequately moving the gut contents out. Like potassium is very important for a muscle intestinal motility and contraction. So I ensure people are getting all the nutrients they need for a proper intestinal motility. And then sometimes we'll use tips to help clear them out properly. Because if you're eating 3 times a day and not going number 2 3 times a day, you're carrying a lot of feces weights likely, and that can usually drop 10 plus pounds of people. If you're trying to make a meat. So a few natural ways of increasing digestion and stuff I use, like, whether it's coffee, lots of potassium, and foods that help speed up digestion, like pea protein, tomatoes, and or, sometimes some natural laxatives if it's needed, and that'll help the weight. But on top of it, a lot of magnesium-rich foods and or taking a magnesium supplement will help inhibit aldosterone and help shed that water weight. Is one of my favorite, biggest, best things to do. I'm getting tired, guys. If you tell, my energy's been low this whole stream. Gotta be more live. Gotta get on at a better time. Do you have any dietary recommendations for increasing bile flow, such thing, thinning of bile? So it depends. So usually this issue, depending on what it's from, I always like to use a band-aid approach as we're going through it, such as ox bile and bile salts. What was I saying? You want to, it depends on what it's caused from. This is a thing I like to say. I like to reverse engineer as well. I like to see somebody's diet, ensure they're getting the adequate nutrients they're needing to produce bile, and ensuring they're eating adequate fats as well to help trigger the flow of it. So I would say but is it steroid induced? Do you have high, it could be things like high estrogen and stuff like that impairing bile flow too. Do you naturally have high estrogen? Are you on steroids? So it's like, you need to see what the main cause that's causing it first, is what I say. Where are we? Will a daily fasted morning walk around an hour long cause muscle loss? That's too tricky to say. You've been fasted all night. I would say one, why are you doing it? I don't really like walking in general. I feel like if you're going to do something, I like a hit form base of cardio that is not all out running to avoid muscle loss, but is like a medium intensity jog, switch between a light intensity jog. I feel you'll get more health benefits out of it in a shorter duration, like 20 to 30 minutes. That is what I prefer. And I say if you lose muscle, that's very tricky. I'd say it depends on when your last meal was. Is it going to put you in a catabolic state where you're catabolizing immense amounts of muscle, and are you on an all-out quest for size, like as much size as possible? It's not something I would worry about, is what I would say, unless you're on this insane growth phase to gain as much size as possible, where you want to ensure you're getting a large meal early on. But for average, most people, it is not something that I would worry about. Why some reach low body fats, however, some areas like the abs will still not be defined, and what's the best thing to do? So as it's already proven, it was a myth for a very long time about spot reduction of body fat. Spot reduction of body fat is proven real. It's just the initial studies that they did, they weren't in a calorie deficit to actually see body fat loss in the first place. So it's actually proven real, and this is the most times why people, they carry fat, but you'll notice everybody carries fat in very specific, different areas, but 9 times out of 10, everybody carries a lot of fat on their gut. And the reason for this is, look what the average human does. We sit all day, and even if we don't sit all day, if we walk, we don't bend. Nobody bends constantly, we're not bending. And as a study showed that when people did bike versus running, they actually lost more fat loss on the legs versus running had more, not more, but it had more core fat loss than the bike did, because when you're lifting your legs during a run, you're using more core. So people don't run, all we do is walk, and all we do is sit. So this is why most people store a majority of their fat on their stomach. So if somebody, I've had people do this before too, where I had them during the bulk, we did ab work nonstop, almost daily to every other day, like a circuit style training to keep the increased blood flow there to see increased fat loss on the stomach. And what happened literally when it came time to cut, because they did immense work on their abs, at the end of the bulk and it came time to cut, their abs were actually the leanest part of their whole body, where most people, the arms or the legs are super lean. So treat your abs, train the place where you store fat the most. One, your abs get like no work at all compared to any other muscle, especially day-to-day life. So give abs not even extra or special work, but give them the work and treatment that they need and require. So I like to tell people, so spot reduction is proven better when it's in a fasted state as well, which is interesting. So usually first thing in the morning, I like people to do an ab workout, do an ab circuit style training fasted as well. Even if it's only 5 to 10 minutes, it's going to help immensely. So that is what is going to help those areas where you store a lot of the most fat, and that is why you're storing the most fat there. So yeah, where were we? How do I get rid of the stress pouch at the bottom of my shredded six packs? It's driving me crazy. I haven't hit insane deficit yet because I don't think I need to do a lot of cardio. As I just explained in the post above, spot reduction is proven real. And so here's the thing. Another thing that was considered a myth for such a long time was that you can't target specific areas of the muscle. And this is completely false as well. They're actually shown doing leg races actually did target the lower stomach more than the upper abdominals. So targeting specific areas for spot reduction of body fat is real. For down there, I suggest same thing I suggested above, but hit more leg work or hit it more adequately. Sorry, not leg work, but lower ab work. So whether you're laying on the ground and want to do leg raises, and side to side leg bends, do a lot of lower ab stuff and very more circuit leg training to get immense blood flow there for the increased fat loss there. What was I going to say? And then another thing for lower leg training tip, because a lot of people have tight hip flexors, or they just overuse their hip flexors and not actually their abs, is when you're laying down to do leg raises, keep your knees bent slightly and do not touch your feet to the floor. Keep it there, and that will target your abs better. Hair routine at the moment. If you're asking my hair routine at the moment, absolutely nothing. I have not done my hair routine in like years and years, and I've been on a very poor diet for years and years most of the time, and I've lost some ground, and I need to get back on my hair routine again to bring the hairline down further and even thicken it up just a little bit. Like it's fine the thickness now, but like when my hair is wet, I can see a bit of density loss for what it's normally at. So I'm gonna start it again at the moment. I have been doing it like the past few months, like on and off. And when I say on and off, I mean I've microneedled like once every 2 to 3 months once, and I've like added some oils like once every 2 to 3 months. So I'm not doing anything. And before that, the past few months, I didn't do anything for like years. Um, After a Deca only blast, how long after last Deca injection before going back to TRT? Depends. So Deca is still going to keep you anabolic for like the next 4 weeks. That's proven in studies. It depends on how estrogen prone side you are. I usually tell people 10 to 14 days. Bro, your hair is epic. It's I don't my hairline is not as low as it was, as I said, because I've had to recover it a few times, whether I'm eating complete shit or a few times it's like, okay, let me try this drug and see if it'll be okay this time or this or that. And even when I did that, I wasn't doing it my hair routine, because if you're applying EMA oil and some anti-androgens and stuff like that, it's going to help prevent hair loss from the harsh androgens. But I wasn't doing that. So running some couple stupid drugs some years ago, I lost some ground and I recovered it. And then now just eating complete shit, I'm getting like no nutrients, and just eating bad has lost me some grounds too. But yeah, K2, MK4, or MK7 from natto. Are you asking if it's the ratio MK or I'm not sure what you mean. The natto is high in MK7 form, but there is a mixture of them as well as K1. And K1 will actually have the same effects as K2, but just low. You need more to have similar effects. What injection sites do you use when injecting insulin other than subacute in the belly area? Or if you're asking me personally, I always just do it in the stomach area. A lot of people don't know this, but in studies with overuse of insulin, when people keep injecting in the same spot, they actually saw a huge fat loss in that specific spot. Which one is better? All forms are important, just like anything. All forms, they're all equally important. I missed something, I think. What did I miss? Eat like Mother Nature intended. Whew, I'm freaking tired. How long till then starts to wear off and lose muscle mass? I'm not sure what you meant by that, or if I missed the question. How long till Tren starts to wear off and lose muscle mass? Sorry, I'm so tired. So it depends on the Easter for when Tren is going to wear off. When it does wear off, as I said, so when you gain actual muscle tissue, it's not going away fast. When you lose muscle fast, it is due to you being on tests or something like that and losing immense amount of water weight. If you lost muscle weight fast, like people do when they come off test cycles and they think it's muscle, your kidneys would freaking fail. As an example, my last actual proper cycle of Deca, when I got to my heaviest weight ever, I got to 252 pounds. I stopped working out. I ate so shitty, barely any food, and it took me like 6 months to actually start seeing muscle loss. And this is the first time where I did my proper Deca only cycle, where I what's the words to use here? Where when I just stopped everything completely and stopped working out, and where it's like, wow, muscle is actually very hard to lose. And it really opened my eyes up to all the times where I did run tests and it was like, gain 20 pounds, lose half of it or more, and it's like, wow, you really are just losing water weight. So yeah, when you run a compound that is giving you actual lean tissue, it takes a very long time to lose actual strong muscle. I've been eating heaps of dairy and wheat since lockdown and noticed way more hair on my pelvis. Yeah, absolutely. As we know, dairy proven in men and boys to lower LH, increase estrogen, lower testosterone, and it puts you just in a bad hormone profile. And yeah, go to sleep. I should soon. I need to reply to a few emails, actually. I just remember I need to get just a couple left I need to get to. Is there a max amount of protein to eat per sitting? For a 300-gram protein a day, spreading that amount in 5 meals is like 60 grams of protein per meal. Isn't that too much and better spread 6 or 7? So one, they showed that when you eat protein too frequently, like before every 6 hours in an animal study, that it actually blunted the protein synthesis response. So as we know, so what we can dwell from that is usually I like to put people on no more than 5 meals a day, usually 6 sometimes, very rarely, if you can space it out properly, but still 5 is perfect amount, 4 to 5. That was a myth, the whole thing, digesting only a certain amount in one sitting, and that myth is from people like misconstruing the studies improperly with the max protein, sorry, not the max, the biggest like bang to buck ratio of increasing protein synthesis at said dose, but protein synthesis kept increasing after that. It's just that's where it started to curve off. There's studies on eating 80 grams of protein in one sitting versus splitting it up and actually shown better muscle growth. So I absolutely know. And then for better digestion, that is very independent, and digestion is more based off how much your specific nutrients in your diet. And example, fats. If you have inadequate fats with your protein meal, you are going to have slow digestion and impaired digestion. And same if you're lacking potassium or chloride for stomach acid release or B1 and so on. So that is more due to your micronutrients versus you eating too much protein. Any advice for legging forearms? Forearms is one of the things I never worked out, and hold on. I never worked out forearms. And people will say, oh, just lift heavy. That gives you your forearms. I always lifted heavy, like deadlifts and stuff like that, and low reps. I loved low reps, and I never had forearms. And it's so funny because I know so many powerlifters with the shittiest forearms ever, but they're so strong. All of these, some do have good forearms, but a lot of the ones that have good forearms do direct forearm work. And every single powerlifter that I personally known who doesn't do direct forearm works has shitty freaking forearms. And I just find it funny that the guys with the best forearms, like Lee Priest, does direct forearm work. For me, I know a lot of people say, oh, they don't like wrist curls, they like the rolly bar and stuff like that. For me, the best I found, and I didn't have a lot of experience to get to use forearms because, I kind of quit working out, especially, past a week or two out of a year, like, many years ago. But when I did do my proper cycles and get into working out again, normal wrist curls, I felt the best contraction and I saw the best growth from doing those because, I saw the best contraction from them. So normal wrist curls, in most everybody's routine that I do normal wrist curls and reverse wrist curls. And, depending on how the routine set up, sometimes as low as 3 sets each, and I like to superset them to get it over and done with. But yeah. Dairy lowers test levels. What's the best replacement, oat or almond milk? Like anything, variety is key. Different food sources or whatever you want to, different food sources are going to have different nutrients to replace the nutrients you need in the diet. Variety, eat them all. Where are we? For a natural, what would you consider the most important aspect when cutting? I'm not sure what you mean specifically with that, but diet, absolutely diet, bar none. But I consider that for everyone, right? Diet where you're getting a lot of protein, because we don't know how much protein you need. If you're working out high volume, high intensity, you could require more protein. We don't know. High protein, a lot of carbs, and eating right. As I said, go to Tren.com, my articles, read all my dieting articles. Stuff like polyunsaturated fatty acids was proven to cause more muscle growth, and saturated fats were proven to cause almost entirely fat gain. So diet, and more diet. That is bar none it. And then another thing with for a natural when cutting is fats. I like people to focus more on cardio, the proper cardio, and proper spot reduction of body fat. As I said, how spot reduction of body fat is proven real. So, most people, they over diet. They over diet because they're not seeing fat loss on their stomach. Everywhere else is stage ready or lean enough everywhere else, but their stomach is still fat. And so they keep dieting and they end up losing more muscle because they keep dieting, trying to lose fat ineffectively on one area only when the rest of their body is ready. So treat every single body part as equally important. Do lots of ab work, circuit training type ab work to get the blood flow there and lose that body fat, and you will be leaner, quicker as a whole everywhere equally, as well as what was I saying? And that way you don't have to over diet, especially eating low calories. But yeah, fats, and more fats. You need it for your hormone production. Don't go too low in fat. Eat the right fats. Where am I? Travis L. This dude is just pulling shit out of his ass. I appreciate it. Where am I going? What do you think of ashwagandha and tonkat ali? Ashwagandha I like. It's one of my favorite natural herbs. Proven increase your thyroid hormone production. Proven increase testosterone. Is proven to have performance enhancing benefits. Ashwagandha I think is a really great, amazing item for a natural. Absolutely. I gotta call it quits. I mean, I'm fading bad. Where the hell's my chat? With Atlantis, can I use the same dose during all blast duration and still get results, or should the dose be increased? Fasted BG is in range. Go to tan.com under articles. It's free on my free articles. You have my insulin article. Give that a read. Do not base your insulin use off anything but the insulin dose you require. If during the bulk your insulin sensitivity gets worse, you're going to require more insulin for the insulin's benefits. Base insulin off your BG. Fasted BG is in range. So no, you don't need more. You need what your body needs. Hey Kim, grass-fed G. Okay. No, I don't like grass-fed G. As we know, dairy is one of the highest, strongest food items kind of related for cancer risk, like prostate cancer. Don't like G, and the dairy fat has its highest amounts of the hormones out of dairy products, and as I said, they're shown to lower testosterone and LH in men and boys and increase estrogen, so absolutely no. Am I misinformed? I thought I should cut down on carbs when cutting. Yeah, so like when you're trying, sorry guys, freaking tired. You want to eat less food in general. So it's kind of coming to light more now with studies, more so on animals. They're mostly being done right now, where they're showing that really only fat can cause fat gain in a sense. Like they overfed, they did like restrictive diets where they overfed protein, overfed carbs and stuff like this. And this is why we know when the protein overfeeding study 900 calories a day, they lost more fat and gained more muscle. So it's not about calories in versus calories out. And it's not about carbs. Carbs, when your body is at its energy requirements and you're over it with carbs, any bit of fat you eat is high, can go now towards fat stores. You want to cut carbs and fats, yes, but your carbs are taking this. I like to say it like this: eat high carbs, eat high protein, and then eat just the fat that you need, in a sense. So no, don't cut carbs highly. Studies proven keto versus high carb. Every single study, when they actually ignored because when you do keto, you lose a lot of weight fast, and that's just water weight. And they showed in the end, the studies, that you lose more actual fat loss on high carbs. So no, you don't cut carbs. You cut your carbs and your fats to the energy requirements that you need, but carbs are still staying high. When would you ever consider using Tren alone? What compound would you add to it when cutting? Myself personally, never, because hair loss, I would never use Tren with anything. I would never use Tren with anything. I don't like the drug myself. And I would never use it alone because you don't create estrogen. Estrogen is needed for androgen receptor regulation. Estrogen is needed for adequate fat loss, for insulin sensitivity, and so many things, and heart health and bone health. So I would never ever use Tren alone. For a natural, how often would you recommend to train abs and cutting? So when I'm recommending to train abs, I'm not talking so much as like a strength, for like a strength routine, train it as the same as any of your other muscles, and for growth. But what I'm talking more so is a circuit style training for enhanced fat loss. So every single day, 5 to 10 minutes, even in the morning, fast it for the spot reduction. Just do a circuit style type training, nothing to wear yourself out, basically. Where am I hate being on camera when I'm this tired, because like I'm just like so like freaking dead. I gotta stop doing this. I wait so late. And I wait so late in the day. When I wait so late in the day, it's like, no, I have to stream. I better freaking stream to see, get it in. And then when I'm so tired, I'm just like, ugh, ready to pass out. Whew. 98 minutes, not bad. I hate it though because I got freaking viewers went up by like double here now, and it's like more people watching. Better get it in. Travis responds, this guy's talking in his ass, and Blake says, how many lives have you saved due to heart disease? Doctor said you're screwed. What do you say? How many people have you made gain 40 pounds in 6 weeks? How many detached retinas have you fixed? Exactly. Funny, so I read his comment because, yeah. What type of cardio do you recommend for bodybuilding, and how would you program it? Just answer this one. Sorry guys for everybody that has to hear this again. As I said it a few times, my favorite cardio is a HIIT type cardio, but instead of going all out, my cardio I like to do is a medium intensity HIIT where it's a high speed jog and then switch to a light speed jog. That way you're not too much wear in your system and you're getting all the health benefits, less chance of muscle loss. And I like to do daily for the health benefits. Well, not myself. I just sit all day for the health benefits and for fat loss and spot reduction benefits. Because running, especially running with like your legs high and stuff like that, so you get lots of core work in there, like your knees raised highs and your arms raised across. Like really get into it. How many days a week do you like to train? So I'm gonna. I guess I'll answer this for what I suggest to people. So, where am I? Okay, yeah. So, I like around 4 to 5 days a week is my suggested training. I like 4 better because it gives more recovery. I feel like when people are doing like every other day split, they recover better. I really like that way of training, or even every other day. Um, So yeah, I like this way of training better for recovery. I feel people grow so much better off it. It's just better for the body overall. However, I feel you cannot program the best program ever on that type of split, and you need at least 5 days. And this is why we see so many pro bodybuilders do 5 days. It's so hard to get in each muscle that matters the most for a specific look when you're doing less than 5 days. And what I mean by this is, for example, some people program delts on a certain day, but as we know with studies and just by experience, most people have experienced this, is that let's say you do delts after chest or something, that delts after triceps, and it's proven that the muscle you do first gets the most benefit. And so especially bodybuilders today, we have a lot bigger delts than the guys in the 70s, and the guys in the 70s never had a direct delt day. What they did was do delts after chest and back, or they did delts after arms. So to get a proper, well-balanced physique of the day, you really need you need your intensity high for those specific muscles, and you need a good amount of volume for them too, right? As they're proven, more volume, the better to a degree. So to split everything up into 4 days, things are going to be lacking. They just are. So 4 to 5 days, when you do 4 days, I feel no matter what, some things are going to be lacking, but sometimes for a growth phase, it's what you just got upset. But 5 days is a really nice way to split things up most times. Where's it going? Isn't jogging bad for knee, especially heavy people, bodybuilders, for examples? Nothing is bad for your knee that is exercise related in a safe and healthy manner. It's funny, Blake in the chat who just linked me somebody who is a big focus on adequate knee health and talks about like running backwards and stuff like that for your adequate knee health. So, and he talks about your tendon strength and stuff like this. The issue with a lot of people doing this stuff is that they don't do it. So when you don't do something, areas and stuff in that area, the specific exercise, you become weak in specific areas the areas that are being used to do that exercise. So if you don't squat, you're not going to train the same muscles doing other exercises in the same way. So when you don't jog and you don't put stress and stuff like that on your tendons and ligaments, they are going to become weak, and then it can be an issue. So don't do it and create an issue versus doing it and being strong in that area. Would you recommend an ab trainer? Are you talking about those waist trainer things that help you suck it in? Yes and no. It's kind of like a highly debated topic. So yes, in the sense that it kind of helps you train to it helps you train to know how to suck in your muscles properly. But then also when you're doing it, I suggest to train the muscles that'll help keep it sucked in naturally. Because if you're walking around all day with your gut sticking out, you are keeping your abdominal muscles in a stretched state. And when it's in a stretched state, you're going to make it constantly a weak muscle. So yes, for periods of the time, and then also focus on fixing like the transverse and internal obliques to keep it sucked in on its own. One second, guys. I need to write something down. I just remembered about topics. One second, guys. Okay. How do you feel about loaded stretching? I like it. We have a couple of studies now. I think two that has proven that it will help muscle growth. Yeah, definitely, I like it. Does NPP/DECA deepen the voice in males also like in females, or males need much more androgenic compounds for that effect? Any androgen absolutely can, just like Deca is shown to have androgenic side effects. Absolutely it can, but it is a much weaker androgen than items like Test. Could you do something like train a given area focusing on heavier lifts and train it like 3 days later with light work, just focusing on a pump to speed recovery? So things like there is studies showing on similar approaches to help, yes. I wouldn't go as far as to train that way. If you're doing it, my best way of saying to train like that is to do something that is more an aerobic training, like more circuit style, like just movement of the areas versus actually training with weights. Like even training a moderate weight for like 20 reps, I feel like that's too much stress on the muscles. Like a big thing with that, if you're doing very low volume stuff like that could work, but I still wouldn't suggest it that way. Many people don't realize that you actually can do too much volume and actually see atrophy, like the muscle actually be damaged too much to the point where it will not recover. Not recover, period, but not recover to a bigger state, but actually a smaller state. Too much damage. So I feel like when people do this, especially a bodybuilder style training, you're walking a fine line of causing of not recovering. On a previous Q&A, you mentioned Bulgarian split squats. I assume you do these with dumbbells. It is important to keep your torso upright or zucchini lean forward. So when I mentioned this probably a few times, you probably missed the one time I did mention the way I like to do it. So I hate bodybuilding routines today. You are missing so many important muscles, like the inner thighs, adductors usually look small, and legs just look odd and weird. The way I like to do split squats and as a main focus is to do it with let's say with dumbbells, one with, let's say this is the leg you're working to the side, as far to the side as you can, and your leg leaning forward more, and then your body leaning forward more as well, which feels more naturally. The reason I like it to the side and leaning forward more is that doing those two things will actually involve more abductor work. So more abductor work and more glute work and more ham work. And the reason this is important, so you're getting a more compounded leg movement where most people's routines focus too much on quads, and this is going to bring in a better balance, glute, ham, and adductor, just like an overall more balanced, better leg look. It's more comfortable. It's hitting your leg overall more better in a better shape. So that is how I like to do it. Any way to keep blood flow to abs and cutting to improve stomach fat faster? Do more ab work all day. Don't do it in a work that's going to stress your nervous system. But let's say you sit all day or you walk all day, you're not using your abs. Move, like 3 times a day, 5 times a day. Do like 2-minute ab exercise, like side to side stuff, like just standing, like touching your toes stuff. Do like a quick circuit style training, like get that blood in your core. Hey Kim, I was put on TRT but had to come off due to chest pain. Why is that? Who knows? Maybe it was your the blood pressure test is horrible for water weight. Maybe the increased blood pressure was increasing your BP, putting strain on heart. You mentioned AIs cause hair loss. Are there any you recommend that would cause the least amount of hair loss? Yes, go to my YouTube channel, look at the only hair safe steroids. I break down all the steroids and including AIs. Arimidex by far I feel causes the least hair loss. Aromazine is androgenic, has androgenic activity in and of itself, and that can cause I was gonna say, and that is why it's so worse for hair loss. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off in a minute. I'm so freaking tired, like just dead tired. Where are we? I think I answer that. Never mind. I'm 3 months on 100 milligrams, 150 milligrams test a week. Never tried Deca only. Can I try to stay on 150 milligrams test and then add 400 milligrams NPP? And add 200 milligrams NPP every 2 weeks for 8 weeks. What do you suggest? So you can, if this were me personally, and I was very focused on keeping the test, I would lower the test to 100 milligrams at minimum, and maybe even a 50. So I would lower to 100 milligrams minimum, and you know, if this was me not suggesting you do this, I would lower the test to 100 milligrams, and I'd do the NPP at 400 milligrams or so. You know, yeah, you could increase it just to see if we're going to get any sides from the DECA with the test. Yeah, you could do that. Just remember the gains stop at week 6. Go to tan.com, read my androgen receptor down regulation article under articles. Give the article a read. 90% of strength and size gains, even on DECA, studies on DECA showing that was in the first 6 weeks. Thanks for the advice. It's unreal to me. Your channel hasn't blown up yet. Get some sleep. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody watching, like I always say. Yeah, well, as you see my channel, I have not been active on, when I first started, I wasn't active on it. I just started getting into it now. So, yeah, hopefully, the more shares and stuff I get, that definitely will help. I can't read that comment. I'm not sure what you meant. Stipe or Nganu? I'm not sure what you mean by that. We're 111 minutes in. I do not know why I'm staying awake or how I'm staying awake right now. So tired. I really wanted to test out my camera though. Let me mess around with a couple settings while I wait here, guys. I wanted to test a few options out. I feel like I'm not in that great of focus. Let me see something for a second. So I just want to see where my focus is. Where am I? Oh, I'm at the end of the focus range, aren't I? Yeah, 2. Because let's see, if I go closer, that goes back. Do I need to bring it forward or back? No, I'm not at the wall. So my focus looks there. Oh crap, I left the focus. Did I take it off? No, I didn't. Can I take it off? Hold on. I did take it off. I'm just gonna see. Let's see how this looks. Whoever wins, Dana wins. Dana White wins. He's talking about UFC. Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks for answering. Hope I'm gonna add more content. Should have changed I think my bitrate needs to be changed. Oh no, the background looks really blurry now. Should have kept it. Let me increase my iris. I want to see something. So I'm at 2.4. Let's go to 2.8. Maybe go to 3, actually. And crank up my ISO a bit. Okay, 1000 ISO. Let's fix the focus. Try to focus. The focus should be in the back normal place. Did I leave? No, never mind. I forgot the screen's delayed. So this is the ISO, so the focus should be better. Yeah, the focus is better. I'm not sure that's. I wonder, can I change the settings in my stream? It says that HD. Can I go any higher? Auto. Oh wait, I'm on auto. So I don't even know if I was in my top setting. Hi, I know you don't like minoxidil, but is it okay to use while using NPP? Yeah, it's absolutely okay. You know, collagen's breakdown. I'd suggest you do my hair article on Taeian.com on the front page. I'd really suggest you use that instead. That's definitely my preference. But as you said, you already know that. What am I doing? Maybe I should have messed with the white balance. Let's see how this is. Yotian, I took accurate foe. I'm not sure what that means. I took accurate foe. I like that blue, but it's a little too blue. Wait, I wanted to test out. Okay, hold on a second, guys. Where am I? Go to stream. What do I do? Capture browser source, website third party, blah blah blah. Display capture. Capture your entire computer monitor. So let me try and add this. Add existing. No, let's do this. Entire, and did I spell that right? Yeah. Entire computer screen. Add source. Display one. Why doesn't that show up? Capture cursor. Is that working? Let's see what this shows up. Right. Sorry guys, I'm just messing with my settings before I get off. Looks like an indie zombie movie. I don't know if that's working. Can you guys see my screen? Oh no, I'm a freaking idiot, aren't I? Where does it come up on here? Game capture, entire computer screen. Where does it come up? What am I doing wrong? Okay, let me try browser source. Window capture. Most modern browsing. Capture a specific window that is on your computer. Browser source. Websites. Content as a source. Let's try this. Website. Oops. Browser source. Did I do it? No, display capture. Okay, browser source. Browser. Okay. Let's try this. Streamless browser source. I'm not sure how this goes. Shutdown sources are not visible. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if you guys can see this. Oops. Looks like you're in 4K DCI and not UHD. Yeah, I am in 4K. Black bar on the top. Are you over 4K or UHD? I'm in. What do you think the use of artificial sweeteners in diet sodas to assist in cutting phase? I don't like most artificial sweeteners. Where's I going with that? Yeah, sorry, just let me get that off my screen. Hold on, guys. Okay, yeah, I don't like artificial sweeteners. As we know in studies, some of them can really disrupt your gut bacteria in ways that they can cause you to become toxic to you ingesting normal sugars and stuff like that, like fruits. So yeah, I don't like most artificial sweeteners. Have a lot of bad effects, showing things like increased risk of depression, people who had diet sodas and stuff like that. So definitely not safe. It's still here. Oops. What did I do? Okay. Is that back to normal? Okay. Black bar on the top. Crap, my screen's off now. Okay. There we go. Microphone still on? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can't get my browser because I wanted to do some streams where I have like my my internet up and show stuff like that, but I can't get that to work. I'm not sure how that pops up. Entire computer screen. Why isn't that working? Or where is the goddamn browser? Copy, select, transform, group, hide on stream. Create source projector. Full screen one. I don't think it's that. It's visible. Display one. Why doesn't that work? Cannot figure this out. Say that as I'm drinking diet soda. I need to figure this out. I guess I'll do it another time. Add a group so you can move multiple sources. Add a new source. Open the source properties. Custom. Video capture audio. Wait, what is that? That's a laptop webcam. Entire computers. I don't know why that's not showing up. Entire computer screen. Do not know why I cannot get that to show up. Oops. I don't think that showed up. No, what the hell? I cannot figure this out. Yeah, I'm going to end this in a second, guys. I'm just wanting to mess around with this so I have it ready for next time. I'm going to come on so I can show my screen. Why is that not showing up? I do not understand what I'm doing wrong. Entire computer screen capture. So where the hell is it? Jesus, this thing is annoying. You can still ask questions, guys. While I'm on here a little bit longer, let's figure this out. I do not know what I'm doing wrong. If someone has been avoiding vitamin A due to past Accutane use, how would we know when to reintroduce it? Mainly suffering from the IBS-C and male pattern baldness, basically systematic inflammation. The only way you're going to know for sure is getting tests done, but you know, most people aren't, you know, depending where you are, right? Maybe you're asking because you can't get it done or it's too difficult. What was I saying? Yeah, possibly the best thing. Possibly the best thing you can do is really go by symptoms. Yeah, there's not much you can do, but besides testing, I would go by symptoms when you start having low vitamin A symptoms show up. If you can't get any testing done, probably go by symptoms as well. Anyways, yeah, no, I can't get my browser to show up. There's an option to make your entire screen show. Your entire screen to show up, and so I can show people, like, if I want to go on a video or whatever, and I can't get my browser to show up. You can capture a game and show people, you're playing a video game with streaming. You can show people your browser or your whole entire computer screen, and I can't get my browser or my entire computer screen up. Oops. I don't know why. I'm seeing if this works. I had this working before. See if that works. Be nice if I get this working for next time, so I'm not messing around with it. Why isn't that showing up now? It's because I have my HDMI cord in, I wonder, for this. But I think all cameras, they go by HDMI cord. Yeah, you guys can't see anything different on my showing them 700 tab. Yeah, you guys can't see anything on my screen different, can you? What the hell? Okay, how do I do this? Okay. I can't thank you enough for fixing my ulcerative colitis. Much love. Appreciate, Charles. No problem. Some of you know, if you see my website under my testimonials, which I don't think, Charles, I don't think you wrote me a testimonial. Did you? I think I asked. I can't remember if you wrote. Did you write me a testimonial? I can't remember now. I have to check our messages. You'll see that I fixed many cases of autoimmune diseases. I've fixed many Crohn's cases where completely in remission. No inflammation. The bowels, everything looks completely fine. Apparently you can hear music right now. Yeah, I sent you in DM. Hold on a sec, guys. I don't know what's going on with the damn thing. Okay, that's my microphone. Okay, can you actually hear music? What was I saying? Yeah, so I cured multiple autoimmune diseases like Crohn's, colitis, and stuff like that. Completely in remission, disease fully gone. There's no traces of it. And that's all via diet, just via diet. Check out my testimonials if you haven't. But yeah. Okay, how do I do this? It stopped now. Not right now, but it was playing a minute ago. So I can't get my browser to show up. I can't get my screen to show up, my browser to show up, but I'm pretty sure if I put on a game, it'll show. Well, at least it was before. And I have no freaking idea. Okay, I don't know what that is. What is that? Is that the goddamn laptop screen, or is that? Okay, so I can get that to show. I think you guys can see this. Let me check YouTube. This thing is frustrating me. Yeah, you guys can see that. Yeah, because I can see it on YouTube. Where is the browser? Okay, what is this? Okay, let's put that there. That's browser source. Okay, where is entire computer screen? But I can't click it. Okay, what is that? No, that's that. Okay. So what if I open up the internet? Can you guys see that? Okay, can you guys see my browser or no? Yeah, you can't see my browser, can you? You can't see. So I can make a goddamn game pop up. So I can make a goddamn game pop up, but I can't make my screen pop up or my browser, because I wanted to, let's say I want to show something on YouTube or a website or stuff like that. I can't figure that out, but I can make a goddamn game pop up, literally. What the hell? Why won't that work out? So I can literally set this up when he's streaming a goddamn game, but I can't get my goddamn browser up. Did you share the whole? Well, yeah, so the option in here, from what I know, it says the browser source to share entire screen. What's it say specifically? So browser source, no, display, display capture, primary monitor, secondary monitor, capture your entire monitor. So I have that up. And then I have browser source. It allows you to add web-based content as a source, such as web pages, widgets, and streaming video. But I have both of those up and on. You must be logged in for widgets. Never mind. I have both of those on, but neither of those show up. Scene, is it under scene? No. It allows you to add an existing scene as a source. I'm going to be getting off soon. I'll still answer some questions. I wanted to figure out my this streaming thing so I can bring up browser and stuff like that. But you can still ask questions for a bit. I just wanted to figure this out, but I can't freaking figure out to get the thing up. But yeah, go ahead, ask questions. Why we do this? I don't know what's going on. Crap. Gotcha. Yeah, why can't I figure this out? Add a source. How do I do that? I think I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos and figure this out. I don't know why when I put on a game it'll show up. In like camera settings and lighting, yeah. Mad Q&A, this one. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to watch some YouTube videos and figure this out. Cause I don't know what is going on. Does eating a lot of cold frozen food do any harm to your digestive system? I.e. as fruits and are low calorie. I tend to eat like 400 grams a day of frozen strawberry blackberries with yogurt. Yes and no. So how do I answer this? Because it's kind of like a multiple different question. Okay, so for example, with eating fruits, where you say gamer call. So here's the best way. So I'm gonna answer multiple different things here. So all of your carbs, like your fruits and stuff like that, you should eat them at the beginning of the meal because the enzyme that are used to digest carbs get inhibited by high stomach acid and low pH, and stomach acid normally rises at about 45 minutes into the meal. So you should be eating all your carbs first, and then you start the rest of your meal for the most optimal digestion. I got family members telling me as I don't eat much food, but that's not my problem. But potentially they could be right. So where were we? So your body, when you eat very cold food, does take more time, more of a digestive process to raise the temperature in your gut back up. So you take something pitch cold, your body's having to put in more work to raise your internal temperature in your gut. So yet it's a bit more of a digestive. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a bit more of a digest. I can't think of the word, like not a tougher, but a bit more of a process. But the science is a little vague on that. We don't know how much more of a process it is. As I eat fruits are low calories, I tend to eat like 400 grams a day. So, yes and no, it's not something I'd worry about. The main thing that I would do, as I'm saying, is eat most of those foods at the beginning of the meal, and then eat the other part of it after. Um, Question: 6 week cycle, debulk, Clomid, 2 weeks prior, during, and 2 weeks after the cycle, then 2 weeks taking nothing. Then start again with Clomid, 2 weeks in repeat cycle. Is this correct? So let me read that again. So tight that light's blinding my eyes now. So 6 weeks, so you take 2 weeks Clomid and 2 weeks 7 yeah, if you're doing that short cycles back to back, basically, yeah. How, However, when it's debulk, you might be kind of overkilling it. A more simpler way might be to take 100 milligrams Clomid for 3 days, and then 50 milligrams for the rest of the week for a week prior to starting it. And then you could do the same when you're ending it, because when you're ending it, just taking it for a week extra, and then even the last few days bump it up to 100 milligrams if you want, again, just to prolong the half-life, because it's a 6-day half-life. Any tips for preparing food / cooking food, how to make it easy and hassle-free, sauces and spices? So that's very individual thing, like preferences and stuff like that, right? So it also depends on what you're doing. Let's say you have a job that you have to go to. A favorite meal prep way of mine is to get a big food thermos. You can get ones that hold like a good few liters, big things with little Tupperware inside. And so things that I would do in the morning if I had to go somewhere is reheat my rice and my chicken if those are my foods that I want to be eating. And I would reheat them on the frying pan because it takes like 2 minutes. Crank the frying pan up to high and toss your food on there and just mush it around. And it takes like 2 minutes to reheat, quick and easy. And then I would toss all that food in a food thermos. In a good food thermos, the food would be hot 12 hours later. So you have an amazingly nice hot meal. And then ask for sauces at your preference. So, example, when I did that, one of my favorite meals was chicken breast with skin. And I would use a nice barbecue and rib sauce that I like, and with some cayenne flakes, and that to me tasted amazing. It's one of my favorite meals. White rice, I like white rice just plain with salt, and I take cold green peppers and I cut them up into little chunks and I put it in with the white rice. That is one of my favorite carb sources, although not nutrient dense, but to make up for the nutrient dense, you can add some vegetables you want. An example of a meal like that that's quick and easy, I'd bring some raw cold tomatoes and I'd cover them in salt, cut them in half, and eat them as is. So again, this is me talking about like a very easy way to prep and bring it along with you if you're on the go. I also like to do this with chicken thighs, but my favorite with chicken thighs is I like to use jerk sauce. And so my favorite recipes are jerk sauce with chicken with skin, and then another way is buffalo sauce with lots of cayenne flakes and ground black pepper, and if your stomach can handle it, some garlic powder. What else to eat? So it depends on, like we're saying, if you're on traveling or not, or if you're at home. One of my favorite quick meals at home, although it doesn't have a lot of fat, and it depends on what you're doing. So if I'm bulking and want the fat, this isn't the best, but it's good for a quick, if I want to cook something quick and want something different, is fast fry steaks. I really like those, covered with cayenne flakes. I like a lot of spicy foods, cayenne flakes on almost everything, jerk sauce, really great, and white rice. So I'm answering this more so not for nutrient densities, but for, like you said, quick prep and on the go. And if I was to eat a lot of white rice, I would replace it with nutrient dense foods to make up for the lack of nutrients in the white rice. You know how I always preach about you need adequate B vitamins and potassium and stuff like that to actually utilize the carbs. So, and tomatoes is one of my quick, like easy to go food type items. PCT protocol for. Hold on, guys. Let me fix this. Let me do this. I'm getting tired. I need to log off after these next few questions. I am like done. Frig, I can barely keep my eyes open. Like, where are we? The light's blinding me. I can barely read the screen. PCT protocol for 30 milligrams, Diva only cycle, Clomid, and Novodex PCT dosages. On my website, tan.com, this one's on the forums. I have very in-detailed PCT protocols, how to do light, moderate, and heavy. That's on there, and I'll kind of go over it briefly here. Just summarize it. So, one, check out my YouTube channel on tan.com under my articles, how to prevent shutdown on cycle. You can just prevent shutdown on cycle by running Clomid throughout it. I did a video and article on it. If you don't want to do that, the PCT depends on if you want to go light, medium, or heavy. Nobody knows how you're going to respond to PCT and the dosages you need. Clomid, Nova, and Arimidex is my favorite strong PCT. If I was going to do the least side effect and most simplest PCT, I would do Clomid for 6 weeks at 100 milligrams 3 days, 50 milligrams 2 weeks, and 25 milligrams for the rest of the 4 weeks. You can add 10 milligrams Nova throughout, or a little bit higher in the beginning. And I like to do something like Arimidex at like a milligram to half a milligrams every other day, depending on how estrogen prone you are, which it won't kill your estrogen because AIs can't touch your estrogen that you make naturally. They only kill estrogen for steroid users. That's why studies on people using 22 milligrams of Arimidex, it couldn't kill their estrogen. It's barely different from 2 milligrams. Clomid 3 days prior to starting with deball, and once stop the deball. No. A week prior to starting, but run it 100 milligrams for 3 days, and the rest of that first week just run it at like 50 milligrams, and then you start the 25 milligrams. Because it's a 6-day half-life, the 100 milligram just boosts it up, gets it into your blood quicker. Will being on a statin significantly limit my gains on a bulk? Nobody can say for sure. It's not something that I'd want to do, and you don't need it. As I've been over this a few times, as you know with studies that cholesterol isn't an issue. People with higher cholesterol live longer, LDL cholesterol. And the issue is with cholesterol is high, it's just there to deal with inflammation and healing, because cholesterol makes up every single cell in your body. What they seen was people that had high calcium were the only ones at high risk of heart disease. So, yeah. What's your favorite fast and easy meal, Tay? I think that's a different question. The fastest, and I had to cook it from scratch, is a fast fried steak with lots of cayenne flakes, and maybe some paprika depending. And as for my carb, like that is such a tricky question, because it's like, do I have a meal prepped? What do I have prepped? And am I in dire need of a meal? I need to get it quick. If I'm in dire need of something, I like to have potato chips on hand. The oil in it is not healthy for you. It's high heated vegetable oil, but it is quick, easy way to get potato in you and your potassium. However, usually I like to say I have rice on hand to be quickly reheated. Because you can cook a massive pot of rice and it takes you 2 minutes in the frying pan. That's how I reheat it. 2 minutes in the frying pan and bang, it's done. Yeah, I know I look tired. My eyes are so sunken in right now. It's insane. Can you add 5 milligrams Anavar on top of Diva only cycle, since Diva can act as a test base? You can run whatever the hell you want. Just have an estrogen in there, like Diva or Deca or Test or so on. Even though I don't like Test, just have an estrogen in there and add whatever you want. But 5 milligrams Anavar, if you're very hair loss prone, 5 milligrams will cause hair loss. Absolutely. Okay, I think that's it. I think I'm going to end it, guys. I'm going to say my goodbye now. Sorry, I'm so tired, guys. I'm like, my energy is low and I'm so freaking tired. If I've been drowsy on the stream. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for, everybody who's joining and subbed up, people joining through the forums. I appreciate it. People who are sharing my stuff, I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the stream and joining me. Appreciate all you guys. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to try and get back onto some streaming a bit more middle of the day. I want to try and stream multiple times a day. I'm going to try and get back into it. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully I figure out the thing to get my browser up and running, where I control this, what's on my display and the browser and all that crap. Yeah. Oh yeah, leave some comments on here. What, I don't know, maybe topic or just like anything in general, you know what I mean, what you want to see, maybe things for me to bring up on the screen, like you maybe go over studies, or yeah, just anything like that. My brain's like right now. So yeah, guys, yeah, appreciate it. Gonna log this off now. Definitely need to sleep, so yeah, let me do that. Oh crap, I don't even know I don't even know how to end the stream on this. I got to do it on my laptop. I was going to go do it on my phone. I don't even realize that I'm not even on my freaking phone. I got to do it here. Okay, yeah, I think this should end the stream. All right, again, thanks, guys.